Today we are talking about passing FTMO challenge, MyForexFunds challenge, the 5 hours challenge, and funded next account. Whatever challenge you are doing, any profile, with this 1 minute SMC strategy, you will be able to pass any evaluation challenge. So I hope you are ready for this video, because basically I'm going to show you a simple step process that you can possibly use to get this done using this strategy I want to share with you. So guys, without further ado, let's dive right in. Today, what I'm going to do is very simple. It's quite simple. So basically, I'm actually going to wipe this off so that we can have a clear chart. Right. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to cut this off to London Open. All right, so it's very simple. All you have to do is we have to first analyze from the 4-hour time frame. So on the 4-hour time frame, what exactly can we see? On the 4-hour, if I remember vividly, this is what I marked. I marked this area as a liquidity which has been taken. So we have this area as a liquidity sweep, and we have this as a change of character which had already occurred on the 4 hours, and we have this area as a valid demand zone. All right, this is actually a valid demand zone right on the 4 hours, and we also have this area as well. Then going down to the 15-minute time frame, this is what we can see on the 15 minutes time frame. On the 15-minute time frame, we could possibly see this area here. This is what we could see this, right? And this is an Asian liquidity as well as these highs. So we have some liquidity here. Now this is a liquidity, right? And basically we also have some nice liquidity below this. All these are liquidity. This is liquidity. All right, and we can see that it's coupled with the Asian low liquidity. So we also have this area as our demand zone. We have this area as our demand zone, and what do? We mark it out and project it to the future. All right, so we also have this area, but this one had been mitigated once, so we try as much as you can not to trade the ones which have been mitigated once, right? And all right, so we have this is what we have on the 15 minutes. So when we scale down, we have to do some refinement. All right, it's a refinement. A refinement, it simply means trying as much as you can to cut things to minimize the size of the supply or demand area. So it could possibly be an order block. Let's say an order block in the 1 hour. You can easily refine that on the 15 minutes or on the 5-minute time frame. So once you do that, then you'll be able to have an opportunity to get smaller stop loss. So on the 5 minutes, we refine this. This one has been mitigated, and we have this. This one has been touched though, and this is part of liquidity because we have liquidity being formed here. So this is a liquidity. All right, so we have this as a liquidity. Okay, so basically this demand zone is part of liquidity, and any demand zone that is part of liquidity might not necessarily hold, right? So this is exactly what we have on now. So we're going to play price to see what happens. All right, so we can see that there was a massive push to the downside, right? So basically what we are looking at again is something like this. We are looking at this area to look for shorts. So we're actually looking for more of short entries. So if we go to the 1 minute time frame, what can we actually find on the 1 minute? So we have a sweep on the 1 minute time frame. So we have this as a sweep of liquidity, right? And yes, so this is exactly what we have. So we're going to play price to see what happens. So we'll go to rather for 5 minutes and play price. All right, so that was a massive push. So you can see that all of this liquidity is being swept, so I'm going to mark that as a sweep. Right, so basically we can possibly look for a shorting position from here. Right, you understand why we are doing this. So we want to see a change of character. Okay, all right, so here we have it. We have a change of character right here. So these are change of character, and so mark that out, and by implication this becomes our entry. All right, so we can choose to enter from here, and our stop loss a little bit above, right, and our take profit is going to be somewhere here, right? So let's make it 1 to 5, and let's see how it's going to play out. So okay, so we have been tagged in nicely. All right, so there's a break even, and we also have another opportunity, entry opportunity right here. That's another entry opportunity, and there we have it. So our stop loss this time around, that's 2 pips stop. Let's make it 2.5, and we can still target the same area, which is 1 to 8. We have 1 to 5 and 1 to 8. They both are running in profit, and we also have another entry opportunity right here. This is another entry opportunity. All right, so we can choose to scale up the trades, of which we are doing right now. So this is a scale up, and let's use 2.5 pip as well. So basically let's target this low. Okay, so here we are. So we're currently on this trade, so I'm going to do a little recap here. The first trade was gotten after liquidity was taken. Then we now have a change of character here, and after the change of character, this was the candle that was responsible for that change of character. So that's where we are interested in. So we entered from there, and we're currently in profit. And there was another entry opportunity, and this time around it is actually called single candle entry, right? So it's something that basically you have to first of all look at where price is coming from to know which area is being protected and the area that is still vulnerable for price, right? So in this case we have a protection already. So because we have a protection, that's why we have this single entry. So basically what I do with this single entry is I usually use it to stack up trades. And aside from stacking up trades, what I do with it, let's say I miss the first entry, and if I check and I see that okay, there is already a protection of a particular area, I can now use the single candle entry right now. Basically we now have another opportunity. We have a break of structure here. So this is actually a complete setup. Now this is a well confirmed setup. So I'm going to target this area. So this 1 to 7, 1 to 8, and 1 to 5. I know you might be asking, why did I not target this low? It's simple. Wisdom. The Bible says that wisdom is profitable to direct, right? And it said, get wisdom, right? Now, the reason why it's simple. Now, if you look at this area, there is already a liquidity sweep. So we really don't expect price to come and sweep it immediately. Even if price choose to do that, fine. But in order for us to be more safe and secure, we have to first of all consider that area. So possibly this area is actually a valid zone, right? Because if you also look at it, you see that it took out a certain high, right? But we're not taking a buy from here, right? We are not trading blindly, right? And if you have been following me, you understand what I'm doing thus far. So let's see, we are in profit 1 to 5, 1 to 128 and now 127. So we have not been tagging on this trade. And look at the stop losses. The stop losses is 2 pips, 2.5 pips, and 4 pips. Now the reason why this is so is because of the volatility of the market, right? So let's move on. And okay, so we have been tagged in. So all right, so we can now break even. Yeah, so after price took out this low, we can now break even. So all of these trades are now in massive profit. All right, so we're in massive profit right here. So let's play price without wasting much of the time, because I also want to show you my a trade I just took this London session, because I had a break in transmission on my on my end, and I used that opportunity to check for the entry I was actually looking out for. All right, so we can see that price is reacting nicely. Now listen to me very, very well. When I took this trade, this was my take profit was somewhere here because of this breaker block. I know that there's definitely going to be a reaction here, but this doesn't mean that since there is a reaction here, price will just reverse immediately. That's not the case. Okay, so it's just a little caution there for those who might so basically let's leave that on and play price, and boom, right? So our profits have been hit, right? So if we even extend it down, you can see that this will give us this is about 1 to 10, 1 to 10, and 1 to 9. So I have 1 to 5, 1 to 10, 1 to 9. So 19 plus 5, so we have 24. So 1 to 24 risk to reward ratio is actually enough for you to pass your FTMO challenge. Right now, the good thing about this is very simple. You see the risk to reward is massive. Now this is the trade that I just took. If you look at the time, this is the time, and look at the screenshots right now, you will find out that it's actually the same thing, right? So I'm not, whatever I'm doing here, I'm not just doing it because I feel like it's simply the process. That's what I call real SMC. So you don't just trade every supply and demand zone and say that's SMC. No, SMC has to do with the combination of skill sets. So they have to be a skill set of whatever you are doing. Now you see that my take profit have been hit on like safely, right? So if price chooses to blow this, I'm no longer interested. If price reverses, fine, because I'm out of this market in massive profit. That's 1 to 10 risk to reward ratio. So let's say I add this one to this one, 1 to 24. That's how many in total? 1 to 34 risk to reward ratio in one single day. In other words, you can pass any challenge in one day. Now let me ask you a question. How much, or rather how many percent is your phase 1 and phase 2 combined? Right, in my first fund you have 8% first phase and 5% second phase. So let's say you pass your first phase in one day, another day you pass your second phase. I know a little disclaimer here, is not as easy as I'm saying it, right? But it's a possibility. Once you understand it, believe me, you are going to pay yourself big time, right? In case you really find value on this video, please, I've not asked you to do so since, like the video and check the video description to join me on Instagram and also on Telegram as well, so that whenever I drop videos, you'll be the first to see it, and possibly you also see my day-to-day trades that I send there. So do well to subscribe, and in case you really want to learn more on SMC, watch these videos right here, watch this video and also watch this playlist, and peace.